Hello and welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. We have a lot on the lineup, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this quick break. Festival season is past, we know, but that doesn't mean we can't keep the good vibes going. Maybe it's because it's the weekend, but I'm feeling in a praise and worship mood. So let's rewind the clock a bit and once again enjoy this year's Gospel Festival Extravaganza.
In a country where gospel music inspires and fosters spiritual growth and development, the Jamaica Gospel Song Competition was introduced to the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, JCDC's roster, in 1987. It has quickly become an iconic presentation of local gospel music in Jamaica, encouraging writers and vocalists to challenge themselves in the quest to become the overall best. The Jamaica Gospel Star Competition is a revamp of the JCDC's signature Jamaica Gospel Song Competition, which saw its inaugural staging in 2021. The competition has upcoming artists performing covers of popular and moving gospel hits in a weekly televised elimination show. Each year, participants are exposed to a series of workshops organized to provide them with important grooming and training while familiarizing them with the music industry. The workshops are directed by professionals within the Jamaica gospel music industry. This year's JCDC Gospel Star 2023 competition had 10 finalists vying for the top spot and $1 million. Each week saw its margin being narrowed down to the ultimate final 5. After 3 weeks of riveting performances and nail-biting moments, the finalists were further narrowed down to 4, with one person voted off getting another shot at stardom through the show's Saved by Grace feature. Oral Lawson was one such lucky contestant.
Third Saved by Grace contender is Oral Lawson.
Why? I really have to take a seat with that one, you know. My knees are still a bit weak. Guys, I was sitting there and wondering and waiting to hear my name called for the top 4. When I didn't hear my name called, I knew that I was now a contender for Saved by Grace.
What a journey it has been for our top 5 finalists. It is their time to shine, and we're ready.
Before the winner is revealed, the finalists blend their voices with some of gospel's greats in duo performances.
You can take away my home. Come on! Take away my time. You can never take my faith in the Lord. No, you can take away my life. Whatever it may be, but you can't take my Lord. Hear me out.
So I'll boast in my pain, boast in the rain, being perfect in my weakness. I'll worship His name, give thanks and praise, everything.
Nobody couldn't see what you do sing, but you never stop believing in a million. You never leave me, forsake me. God is a certain purpose in a million. I just can't explain the joy that I feel inside. You make me stronger, push and go. I'm gonna be alright.
There was only one season. Doors He opens for me. Why should I put my trust in sinking sand when He provided a place for my feet to stand? It's true. Say I'm head over heels for the one who won my heart. Sing sweet somethings, nothing can come to the love that I have for my Jesus, yeah. It's about to rise. Your change is coming. Can you feel the burning? I know that the season is turning. Put your hand up in the air like this. Change is coming. Yeah. Put your hands up in the air. Can you feel the burning? We know that the season is turning. It's turning. A change is coming.
And it's that time. After 4 weeks of intense competition with amazing performances from the Jamaica Gospel Star 2023, the results are in.
After combining 50% of the public vote with 50% of the judges' scores, coming in at third place is Kemar Eccleston. In second place, ladies and gentlemen, is Fabian Wright. The 2023 Jamaica Gospel Star is Oral Lawson.
In the dark of the midnight have I oft hid my face, while the storms howl above me, and there's no hiding place. There's the crash of the thunder, precious Lord, hear my cry, keep me safe till the storm passes by. Oh.
The Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, through the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, unearthing and fostering talent across the island.
The JCDC, same entity that's responsible for staging festival, is commemorating the 104th anniversary of the birth of the late cultural icon, Dr. Louise Bennett Coverley. The Commission is hosting a month-long series of activities across the island in honor of Miss Lou. We're paying our own tribute in Jamaica Magazine today.
This long time, girl, we never see you. Come make me walk on top.
It all started on September 7, 1919, when Louise Bennett was born. Daughter of Jamaica, pride of the Caribbean, and cultural ambassador to the world. She has worn the hats of poet, folklorist, playwright, songwriter, and recording artist. Her invaluable contribution to Jamaica's indigenous cultural survival has been rewarded over the years with accolades of great repute. But her distinctions have left an indelible mark on our society, rendering her works alive and immortal.
We start for hello. Pumpkin pear, ripe plantain going poo. We got breadfruit. Here the gal back of me. Me too. Me stop little, then me call again. Ripe plantain going poo. We got breadfruit and banana. Here the gal again. Me too. Now the first time I did feel for laugh, but now my temper flame. Mr. Gal, shut up your me too and call out the food them name. Any food they name me too, gal. And another thing too. Suppose the people hear it and say, me too, and think somebody that sell you. You want to get me in a trouble like a whole me bad lucky. You want them arrest me for walk and sell smaddy? Mrs. she start when I crying. I said, gal, stop shedding the tear. If I didn't know I saw you soft, I'd sell it for ripe pear. She get, Mrs. She ball. She turned back home. And me galang, business wasn't so bad. When we catch home a yard, me hear the gala sing. And I go on like say she glad. Me look upon her trade bag was empty. Me look down upon the basket, me girl, empty. She say, Auntie, me call out, ma'am. Me don't really like higgling. But when trouble take man, pick the boot fit him, and we sell off everything.
Jamaica and the Caribbean will forever be grateful for Miss Lou's timeless legacy. A bunononos woman of substance, a champion of cultural dignity, a magnet of infectious joy, Dr. the Honorable Louise Bennett Coverley. Miss Lou continues to make Jamaica and the Caribbean proud.
This long time, girl, we never see you. Come make me walk on top. Village and crossing over treetop. Pick up the dance song. Make me walk on top, yeah. Make me walk on top.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm Theodore Henry. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. One way to help him play these parts could be with Flexi work. To help us dissect this topic is Divisional Director of Industrial Relations and Allied Services at the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, Gillian Coronas. Welcome to the program, Ms. Coronas.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great. So let's jump right into getting the facts. I like definitions, and I want you to give me two. First off, well, one definition and then an explanation.
Okay.
What is Flexi work?
So Flexi work relates to that non-standard engagement on employment. So it relates to the fact that workers are now being engaged outside of a standard work week. What is the standard work week? It is normally 5 days per week and a maximum of 40 hours per week. So a Flexi work arrangement can have more days, more time, or arrangements that modify how the worker either goes to a physical place of work or not. So you'll have some persons do what we call telework, telecommuting. We have that a lot because we have a very vibrant, what we call BPO, global services sector.
Right.
And other organizations as well.
You know, the instinctive understanding or the first thing that pops into mind, Flexi week, I work when I want. But that's not how it works, is it?
And I'll say something else to you. Remember some time ago, not so long ago, and I'm sure you're not the age that you won't remember, that on Sundays you couldn't get anything to buy because everywhere was closed. You remember that?
I don't think I was born then.
So the Flexi Work Week or the Employment Flexible Work Arrangements Act addressed that.
Okay.
So that Sunday is a standard work day, not a premium day anymore. So that is why we have so many organizations now open on a Sunday.
Okay. So it sounds as if there are structures and arrangements that are laid down, a framework that companies operate in. So tell me, what are the different types of Flexi work arrangements?
All right, so I should start by saying the Employment Flexible Work Arrangements Act came into effect in 2014, and this governs how it operates. And what it provides for is a situation where you can have a compressed work week. So some of us, we would just want to get through the 40 hours and go on to something else.
Right.
And it allows for that. So persons are allowed to work a maximum of 12 hours per day at single time pay. And then they will be clearing that 40 hours in less days than the standard 5 days. Additionally, another way that Flexi work week happens is where persons say, you know something, I want to work the way I want to work. And I can tell you the Gen Z and whatever is the other names that they call him by, they want to just do part-time work. So the Flexible Work Arrangements Act also allows for that. And globally, you find that organizations want to be operating 24 hours because it's catering to clientele that wants the organizations to be open.
Especially when they get online at 2 a.m. I'm scrolling through your thing. I don't want to see that you're closed.
You worked all day.
Right.
Now you're home and you want to do business. You want to know that you can do business.
Right.
So the Flexi Work Arrangements Act really responds to that global trend. And you also have the flexible arrangements where persons are on staggered shifts so that the organization is literally open 24 hours, 24/7, as we would say.
Right.
And also, you have flexible arrangements where we're calling it gig work at one point.
All right.
I mean, when you want to work, you can take a contract with the company and you just do that work and then you're gone again.
Okay.
You know, you have a lot of that. Some people call it consultancies, lots of different variations in the names, but it's all called flexible work arrangements.
I see. So, okay, from your position at the ministry, what have you seen are the benefits to both employer and employee?
Well, definitely, starting with the employee, you get a chance to choose if the option is given to you.
I like how you said that. I like how you said that. That's important.
And if the option is given to you, there are some persons who are studying and they want to just have some time that they can carve out for study.
Right.
Then it allows them to do that. There are some other persons that for work-life balance, they don't want to.
Oh, that
they don't want to
phrase.
do the 5 days per week. They have children at home, or just want to do the healthy stuff. You know, they want to de-stress certain days. It's perfect for those situations. In terms of the employer, definitely you can have a 24/7 operation. You're never closed. You're literally open all the time.
Right.
You also, as an employer, if you don't want to have a full-time set of workers, because, you know, based on your business model, you don't need a full-time cadre of workers. You need certain skill sets, certain times. If workers want to work in that flexible arrangement, you can just hire that talent when you actually need it.
I can also
on
imagine
contract, yes.
From the employer stage,
Yes.
for example, you have limitations with space. You mentioned the stagger
Yes,
shift thing.
yeah.
So people come in and come out. I could see how that.
So you can
could
have
be.
your team, certain teams come in at certain points, and we call that, those are high performance teams. So you have a full set of persons coming in that they can run the entire operation. And companies that do sales, marketing, and heavily customer focused and that kind of service related organization, they will really benefit from flexible arrangements.
One of the things as we head to our break that I'm seeing coming out is not only does it empower certain work styles, but me as someone who wants to create, for example, a business, I can create a certain kind of business based on these legislation.
That's correct.
We're going to need to talk about that B word, benefits. But we're going to go to a break right now. We're talking about Flexi Week, Flexi Work, what it is, how it impacts employers and employees. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Get the Facts. We're continuing our discussion on Flexi Work. Our guest is Gillian Corodas, the Divisional Director of Industrial Relations and Allied Services at the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. Now, Lady Gillian, right before the break, I mentioned that we're going to talk about the B word. Because Flexi Work, it sounds nice and great, but people like their benefits. So, will an employee lose any entitlements such as vacation or sick leave if they accept flexi work arrangements?
So that's a very interesting question, and actually, Theodore, is one of the most asked questions.
Well, there we go. Let's get the facts.
So in terms of vacation leave, a worker earns 1 day vacation leave for every 22 days worked. So
Okay.
clearly, if you're working less days, you would actually earn your vacation leave at a slower pace.
But it doesn't cut
So it
down
doesn't
your
put it down.
allotment.
No, it doesn't
Okay,
put down your allotment.
okay.
And actually, what we recognize with flexible work arrangements is that the workers and employers come to an agreement so that there is no loss.
Right.
You know, so the employment contracts, they actually give a more generous arrangement sometimes than the law says. In relation to sick leave, it's a similar situation. The Holidays with Pay Act deals with sick leave as well.
Right.
And what it says is that for the first 110 days, if a worker becomes sick, they get the leave, but not with pay. So in a flexible work arrangement, it is the same
That
thing.
holds.
So it is after the worker has cleared the first 110 days of work that they will start earning the right to be paid if they are sick.
Okay, okay. I'll toss one more on the pile. You'll probably hear about this as well. Overtime, public holidays, flexi work messes with that?
All right, so overtime, gone are the days when you work 8 hours and everything after that 8 hours on that day is overtime.
Oh, gone are the days.
So
sad.
what the Flexible Work Arrangement Act does is to say that for the first 12 hours, you can be paid at a single time rate.
Right.
And once you have done more than 12 hours on that day, that is when a premium time is attracted, or if you do more than 40 hours per week.
Okay.
And I want to quickly say that a lot of employers sometimes ask this question, whether there is a public holiday that falls in that week.
Okay.
How is that treated?
Right.
So the quick answer is if the person worked the day immediately preceding or immediately succeeding the public holiday, and they would have normally worked on a public holiday,
Right.
then they are to be paid if
Okay.
they are a worker.
Okay.
Unless there's some other hybrid arrangement, but normally they will be paid in those circumstances.
It sounds like the employers.
And if an employer is not sure,
Yeah.
always call the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
Well, thank you for the helpline. It does sound like it's very important for the employees and the employers to ensure that things are worked out properly.
That's correct.
Because I don't know if you get this question a lot either. I think you would though. But is an employer required by law to offer flexi work arrangements?
Oh, certainly not. It is an option that a business may exercise.
Right.
And we find these days that more businesses want to do this because they're catering to the changing world of work, yes.
Can I jump in right here? You said certainly not. And if you would like to as an employee, but is it something you apply for or you just decide to take advantage of
You're
it?
asking me for the employer.
Right.
So if the company wants,
Right.
it's forced to do it. The company is not forced to do it.
So I'm asking, how do I go about doing it as a company?
If a company wants to do it,
Right.
it will be based on the business model that you are wanting to do, the preference. If it is that you are in an industry that your competitors are doing that, you know, it gives you the opportunity to be open more hours, longer hours, to have talent when you need them rather than to be paying all of these persons. You can have certain special skills employed for short periods of time or certain days per week.
So I can just decide to use this in my company?
You can.
Okay.
On the converse, if an employer already has it, and as a worker you would join the organization,
Oh man.
then I don't think you have much of a choice, because then you have to recognize that this is the way they operate.
Right,
and
right.
then you would have to probably discuss what is the schedule that is preferred, because the contract of employment is both offer and acceptance.
So that sounds like you're answering the question I was going to ask next, if the employer can put the employee on flexi work arrangements without them requesting that.
Well, if it is that they were not having that arrangement at the time the person joined,
Of employment, right.
at the time of employment, then the employer cannot force that worker. The worker would have to agree, and you know, there's some forced agreement. That is not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
There has to be a mutual agreement.
Understood.
And I also recommend to employers and workers ensure that any changes are properly documented. And sometimes, even in COVID, we saw that it was of a temporary nature in some instances. If it is of a temporary nature, be very specific in terms of the period that the flexible work arrangement relates to.
Right.
But if it's going to be for longevity, for the duration of the person's remaining life in the organization, then it must say that this is a new arrangement and properly documented. The employee should have a copy of this new contractual arrangement.
Right. So agreements come into place, they're documented, and if we need help, call the ministry.
Of course, call the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. We have a team always ready.
Right. You know, in our earlier conversation, you had really explained how flexi work can benefit business development, business creation, and Jamaica's development. We're right in the tail end of this conversation, so I just wanted to speak directly to our audience. There are employers on, there are employees on. You've given them quite a bit of facts. Anything you'd like to leave with them in the last few seconds?
Right. Jamaica is experiencing a historic low in unemployment, which means that you can hardly find workers available for certain jobs. We've seen several organizations have vacancies posted, we're hiring. And flexible work arrangements gives the opportunity to get that additional staff that you need. It also gives the opportunity for workers to work in a way that is more comfortable so that they can achieve their own personal goals as well as to have the flexibility of having the work-life balance. The key to flexible work arrangements, however, is that all laws must be observed in relation to holidays with pay, in relation to the payment of wages and other benefits. And also we should ensure that it is properly documented and both parties have copies of this documentation.
Very important. Well, this has been Get the Facts. Our guest was Divisional Director of Industrial Relations and Allied Services at the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, Gillian Corodas. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm Theodore Henry. Take good care.
Mosquitoes can spread diseases such as dengue fever. Common symptoms of dengue include fever, severe headache, pain behind the eyes, muscle pain, joint pain, skin rash, nausea, and vomiting. If you feel you have dengue fever, visit your doctor or health center, rest, drink lots of fluids, use only paracetamol for pain. Do not take aspirin or other painkillers. Protect yourself from dengue and other mosquito-borne diseases. A message from the Ministry of Health.
And just like that, we're signing out for today, but not to worry. You can rewatch this offering or other content like this by visiting our website, jis.gov.jm. Do join us again on this same station tomorrow as we bring you another informative, educational, and entertaining package of Jamaica Magazine. Until then, I'm Adrian Atkinson, thanking you so much for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.